We're live. Hi, everybody. We are here now today on my page, and I'm Becky Vanessa.
And I'm Amy Shine.
Amy Shine. And we were doing 4 days of just talking about, ask a question, talking about questions. And today we are on day 3.
Yeah, day 3. Yeah. So if you missed the first 2 videos, they're actually on my business page, but they're also on your YouTube, Becky, and they're on my YouTube too, right?
I actually added them to my page too as a playlist, just so it made sense.
You're looking really sexy today, Becky.
Thank you.
I'm like, lean a bit near or away. One or the
yeah, I just, I got this cute little bralette.
It's very sexy.
Isn't it?
Yeah, really sexy.
It's very fun.
So we had day 1 and day 2, we talked about like question from like asking a real question, what's a true question versus like a loaded statement. And then yesterday we talked about asking questions and like your willingness to ask questions, because a lot of times we won't ask a question because we've already decided the answer is going to be no, and we've already concluded no means you're a failure, you're wrong, you're rejected.
You're done. There's no other option. No.
So today I was suggested to Becky, maybe we could share some of our like favorite questions, not even favorite, just some of our go-to questions.
I would love
that we like to ask.
Yeah.
So do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, so I was thinking about this and I was like, well, I ask so many questions all the time.
I was going to say, I have a list and they do change.
But they do change. Yeah. So the one that popped right now to share is, well, something that I do a lot is when I wake up and I start my day, or even throughout the day, if I feel like it's getting heavy or I'm getting mad or I'm getting annoyed or whatever, I'll just say, okay, all my decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, expectations, projections, rejections, separations I have of me, I have of my husband, I have of my relationships, I have of my business, I have of my clients, I have of my financial reality, I have of access, I have of creation, I have of my family, all of that I now destroy and create it. And then I run the access consciousness clearing statement, which is right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all night shorts, boys and men. So it starts to clear out like all those places where I have all these expectations.
What if like somebody's on this page and they're watching this and what do all those words mean?
Well, it's a clearing.
You know what I mean? Like
you can go to www.theclearingstatement.com, but really what you're doing is you're clearing all of those places where you have energetic judgments that you might not even be cognitively aware of. They're just there. They're energetically in your world. You know, like energetic judgment would be like
where you've decided something and you're not even sure. Like it could have been at an early age or
and you start to create your life from them. So, you know, you're in the middle of your day and suddenly you're pissed off at your husband for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's an energetic judgment there, like you expect something of him that you took on from your mother or whatever. Yeah. And it's a way of clearing it without going in and trying to figure it all out.
Which is fun. It's easy. Yeah. It's really, and, you know, without getting into the, you know, like a huge, because you could actually talk about, this could be a whole conversation. The one thing is that it works. And even what I was even saying too, like in the beginning, when you asked your question, Amy, you're like, all the judgments, all the decisions, all the, you know, that's not something that maybe a lot of people have ever heard even. You know, so you went into the clearing statement, but I was even starting at the beginning when you're like asking the question to undo and maybe unlock all of these other things. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if this doesn't make sense, that's
okay. Like you can even start with like you don't have to use the clearing statement either. It could just be like all my expectations I have here of everyone and everything, I now destroy it and create it and let it go, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really just like, it really is a letting go, because it's like, how many times throughout the day do you like get resentful or angry or frustrated? you know, and usually that's created from a judgment. And so I'll just be like, okay, Amy, like you're create, you know, like just tapping in like every so often throughout the day, being like, okay, how many expectations do I have here? Destroy and create them. And then I'll ask, what are the infinite possibilities for me, for my body, and for my relationship today?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, how many times, like, do you have, you know, like you'll get annoyed at your husband or your partner or something for no reason. So it's like destroying and creating the expectations and then going to question of what else is possible here? What are the infinite possibilities?
Well, I love that because we've actually personally have these conversations a lot where I even just recently realized like I'm like when I'm asking, say, to travel or to go someplace, then in my head, I already kind of predetermine what my husband will say. And I didn't realize that I did this so much until the other day. And like, I've been with my husband for almost 30 years. So you can imagine how many like habits and just, you know, predict like what you said, like judgments and predictions that I have. And like, I'm asking to constantly change. And if you actually are constantly changing, are you still looking at like that old person?
Yeah.
As how they function. And so the other day, I said something to my husband, and then he replied back to me, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, that's not what I even said. Like, what? I don't mind. Like, I don't even, not that he didn't care, but it was almost like, that's not even what I said. And I was like, wow, how much have I already had this conversation in my head? You know, and then he even was speaking. I really wasn't even listening to him. I was replying to the conversation that I already predicted that how he was going to respond. And even, you know, no, I always ask, like what Amy asked in the beginning of changing, letting go of all these judgments, all these decisions. I asked for that every day to change, but I wasn't allowing him to change as well and allow him to be different. I was still functioning as, you know, like this interesting thing in my head. And so that is kind of like what Amy just said, hey, how, like asking to let all of that go.
Yeah. So it's really, and then asking, what are the infinite possibilities for me, for my body, for my business, for my relationships, for whatever it is you're, you know, you're looking at. And so then that question starts to open you up to infinite possibilities rather than what you were talking about, Becky, the past, you know?
Yeah. And there's so many great questions, but you said like, what questions kind of are you using right now? And so for me, right now, what I'm asking for is like, what do I know? Right? Like,
that's a question you ask?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What do I know?
What do I know? Can you imagine that?
Question.
Yeah. I mean, so, and this is always changing, you know, to like what's relevant, kind of that I'm looking at and working, you know, always I'm playing with creating in my life. So I can easily tap into, for example, other people's businesses, other people's, you know, systems, creating websites, like what, like their business is asking for and like what really, you know, would be fun for them and, you know, how I can, you know, assist them with that. And so I'm always like, wow, I do this for everybody else. I wonder what I know, like, what would I like to create? Like, I wonder, you know, what energy, you know, that I'd be. So that is one. And then I'm also asking to perceive the energy that is available to me. Like what's available to me right now.
I love that what is available to me. I have another question too that I like to ask a lot, which is kind of like what is available to me, but in a different way. It's more specific. I like to ask, what unexpected revenue streams are available to me today?
Yeah.
Or another way of rephrasing it is, what would it take for unexpected revenue to show up today?
Yeah. And that could be anything. And so that's like what I love that question. Cause like, you're not saying, well, what would it take for $100 to show up? Right. Like that's, I mean, and you could, but like a revenue stream could be a new business product that creates $1 billion in your life.
Yeah.
It's like infinite possibilities. Yeah.
What's another one from you, Becky?
Let me look at my list.
You have a list? She's
I
such
do.
a good student. She writes notes and stuff.
Well, because I have no brain, so I look at a list, and I'll usually, like, in the mornings, kind of when I'm drinking my coffee, like, look at these questions and just sort of like look at them. What can I create today? Like, what can I create today? And that's like unlimited possibilities. That could be how much fun can I create today? Like, how many income revenue streams can I create today? Can I generate and be today? I don't know. Like, that's so for me.
What
I love
can I
that
create?
one. Yeah. What can I create?
I also
today?
really like where is my energy required today?
That is a really good one. Yeah, that's a really
and
good
then
one.
Just like, and also just to like, because we talked about this in day one, like when you ask the question, like, where is my energy required today? You don't have to go and look for the answer. Like, you're not waiting for your mind to answer you, because then you're just coming from your head, which is a limited calculating computer system that you don't want to listen to. So it's more like, like your question, even Becky, like, do you notice when people watching, like, do you notice when we ask these questions, there's just this like kind of space there, and it's kind of like, oh, that's weird, because we're not used to space, right? We're used to like question to get an answer, What do I need to do today is usually your question. You get up in the morning, you usually go, what do I need to do? Oh, I need to clean the house. I need to take the kids to school. I need to, see this person, and you have all this
bathroom,
doing list.
Wash my car. Yeah, you have a to-do list.
You have a to-do list. But Becky's question, when you asked it, Becky, it was like, what can I create today? And then it was just like, oh, space. And usually that's when we go to, oh, well, what is it? Like, I don't have the answer, because we're so trained to get the answer, rather than just ask the question, what would it take for unexpected revenue streams to show up today? And then go about your life, and the information or the awareness may come in different ways.
Yeah, I love that. And then, so I do have, I got 3 questions that I love. So it was, what can I create today? What do I desire today? Because that really gets back to like getting to know what you know, like what is fun for me, like what do I enjoy to do? So what do I desire to do today, and what can I enjoy today?
Or who can I enjoy? I love it.
I love that too.
And then my 3 are, what are the infinite possibilities for me, for my body, for my business, for my relationships right now or today? What would it take for unexpected revenue to show up today? And another one, where is my energy required today?
Yeah, that's a good one, because what it does is it takes you out of your to-do list. Because how many of you will create to-do lists, then you don't do your to-do list, then you feel guilty that you're not doing and completing, like you're wrong because this to-do list isn't getting done. But what if you were just willing to ask a question and be aware of what actually would create more? Like, because sometimes you might be like, oh, this has to be done, that has to be done, and you can force things sometimes to be done. But what if you waited to it actually, like it was a perfect time, and it just actually then got completed with just ease?
Yeah. Life can be easy, people.
What? Yay.
Okay, so we leave it there. We'll leave you with both of ours 3 different favorite top questions.
Yeah.
And we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, on Becky's page to do day number 4, tips with questions.
Oh, wait. If you work with us, how could I contribute to the team? Oh, that's interesting. So somebody just posted something.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Yeah. How can I contribute to the team? Great question.
Yeah.
How can I honor myself more with a team? Great question.
Those are great questions. And I get, Kaz, that those questions actually kind of go to like, what do I desire today? Because if you actually put you into the creation, it
includes everyone.
It includes
your
everyone.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that. How can I contribute to the team? And then how can I create this with ease?
Mm-hmm.
I love Amy started doing that, and I've actually created some loops for me too. It's like all of money
Life
comes to me with ease, doing like how you can actually add.
All of your team comes to you with ease, joy, and glory. Also, I would ask, what simultaneity of gifting and receiving can I be with this team?
Yeah.
So it's not just you giving to them or them giving to you. You're the simultaneity of gifting and receiving.
Yeah, which is super cool. I also been looking at like the generation and the creation of like if you were a tree and you were a fruit tree, and like you would be just creating fruit, and somebody like picked your fruit and you gifted it to them. You're not like, hey, what are you giving back to me? Like you would actually receive from their excitement of the fruit, their enjoyment of picking it, or whatever. And so for me, even lately, I've been acknowledging more and more where I actually love that kindness and that generative energy with like that analogy of like, being with the earth. Like if you were a fruit tree, like there's not like, hey, I need to do this or I need to do that. You're just like, hey, I have all this.
Yeah, I love it.
Some's right, some's not. Like pick at your own risk. So, yay.
Brilliant. Okay.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.